Welcome back to the Enough is Enough podcast. Today's topic, how to respond to the narc's personal attacks. And there's going to be a ton of those in the divorce process. In the divorce, the narc will relentlessly attack you personally. Now, he's done that during the marriage, but he's really going to up it when you have the nerve to divorce him. You need to know how to respond to the narc's attacks. I'll tell you how today. Again, for the whole picture, point by point, what he'll do and say and what you can do in response is in escaping your narcissist. But I'll cover it in a basic way in this podcast. At the end of this video, I have some helpful, practical resources for you. Dr. Clarke doesn't just tell you to get divorced or tell you how to deal with the narc. I will be very specific in terms of the plan. Now we're going to the book now. Yes, we are. Okay. The Personal War, What You Can Do. The narc's relentless personal attacks will have an impact on you. No question about that. What you need to do is take steps to reduce the impact and manage your emotions. As the narc bombards you with his attacks, you will be at times depressed, sad, wounded, anxious, fearful, overwhelmed, and stressed. All normal. Everyone who divorces a narc will experience these emotions. Do not share any of your emotions with the narc, ever. It will thrill his evil heart to know he's getting to you. As far as he knows, you are fine. Project fine. On social media, post your happy, smiling face, doing fun things. To let him know you are fine. Of course, you're not fine. You're going through a divorce. But you know what? We want him to know, I am okay. It'll drive him nuts and actually slow down his attacks. Do not share any of your emotions with the peanut gallery of fools, those that are guilting and blaming you for the divorce. Ignore them. They couldn't care less about your pain. They will tell you all your pain is your fault because you filed divorce. Ignore them. Do not share any of your emotions with his family. It doesn't matter if you have been close to any of his people during the marriage. Blood goes with blood. They hate your guts now. They'll be on his side. Cut them off. Even if they're pretending to be nice to you, cut his family off. They will be spies in the camp, and they will report back to the narc. I guarantee, I've seen it a million times, don't talk to them. They may be upset. So what? Do not share any of your deep emotions with your children. They can't handle their emotions going through the divorce and yours. It's too much. Plus, they may tell the narc about your pain, and you don't want that. Little kids talk. They have no filter. Much like Dr. Clarke, they just say everything. They will see some emotion from you because of his attacks. Of course they will. Just work to mute your emotions around them. Now vent your emotions fully with God and the key members of your support team. You're going to vent and vent and vent some more with these key people you can trust all the way through the process, and that's healthy for you. Okay, communication with the narc. Use one form of digital communication with the narc. Not in person, not on the phone in terms of voice. Consider using a parenting app that records everything. Your attorney will know which app to recommend. Read these communication strategies from spouses who divorced a narc. These are supporters of ours, subscribers to the YouTube channel and podcast who give me this input. In my responses to him, one lady says, I only responded when necessary and used the fewest words possible. I tried to stick to yes or no. Good. They want the ongoing dialogue the narc does. No. She didn't give him that. My response was consistent no matter what ugly things he said. Ignore, refuse to take the bait. He's always baiting you, drawing you in. Deny that. I was more at peace when I let his infuriating, crazy-making comments go. I focused only on the specific issue at hand. The narc always wants a response. You don't give him a response. I was calm in his presence, as one lady says. I was calm in his presence and in all communications, no matter how he acted. Another one, when he sent me a message, I would, if it wasn't an emergency, not respond right away. This gave me more control. The narc will blow your phone up if you don't give him an immediate response on his terms. Who cares? You're divorcing him. Wait a couple of hours. No big deal. Who cares? Also, you're going to refute the narc's lies. You will refute and correct the narc's lies about you only to these persons below. Certainly your children, no question about that. Every single lie the narc tells about you, when it comes to your attention, you will correct. When the narc attacks you and lies about you in front of the children, you must respond verbally as soon as possible every time, right in front of the kids. He's chosen the venue. He's chosen the situation. Fine. You'll respond. The kids need to see that. You will no longer allow criticism, threats, lies, yelling, and cursing to pass without a firm and honest response. Now, hear me clearly. These responses have nothing to do with changing the narc's behavior. He's never going to change. He'll be a dirtball narc until the day he dies. That's his problem. Your responses empower you, build respect from your children, and show your kids the truth about their dad. And it protects your relationship with your children. If you don't say anything back when the kids are there, they'll think dad's right and you were wrong and you look weak, and they'll side with the narc. You don't want that. Speak up. Now, these are not dialogues. You will say some, and I've got examples in the book, Escaping Your Narcissist. You're going to say, very short, pithy, snarky responses, clearly every time, but you're not going to have a dialogue with the narc. Tell your kids to expect dad to lie about you. Ask them to always come to you when they feel uneasy about something he said about you because you want to correct it. That's up to them, but make it clear, Mom will talk to you. And make sure the kids know, I will never, when you talk to me, these are private conversations about dad, I will never tell him what we discuss. You'll simply correct the issue with them. Here's some responses you can use when he chooses to do it in public in front of your children. Now, if it's just you and him, ignore him. But if it's your kids, different story. You can use these responses. Again, very short. That's a lie. And use the word lie. That's disrespectful. You are sinning. That is mean. You are way out of line. That's not what the Bible teaches. This is, and your children, that you're really playing to your audience is your children, not the narc. Who cares? When you find out the narc has made an attack on you to the children when you were not present, which of course is often going to be the case, you will say nothing to the narc. You go to the child as soon as possible and correct the lie every single time. You don't make an attack on the narc. You simply tell the child the truth. Some examples. What dad said is vicious and untrue. What dad said is a lie. Dad is trying to turn you against me. I have not had an affair. I am not mentally unstable. Dad is trying to hurt me because I am divorcing him. You've got to tell the truth to these kids. Now, I'm not going to get into it here, but also you're going to tell the truth to your boss. Narcs love to, if you're working for a boss at a job, obviously the narc wants to destroy that relationship. He'll lie to your boss. You'll have to correct. Boss and coworkers, you'll tell the truth, especially boss. And those in the legal circus. It's the legal system. I call it the circus. The narc's going to lie to you, to everyone involved in the case. The judge, the guardian ad litem, the social worker, any counselor you have seen, the psychologist who does the psychological evaluations of you and the narc, your children's teachers, your children's coaches. Since these persons have a say in the divorce process and the custody situation, again, you will correct every lie. All right, let me share some helpful resources here. Go to my website, davideclarkephd.com, and get my book, Escaping Your Narcissist, a very specific guide to divorcing a narc. And I got many of much of the content in this book from people who had been through the process and are going through it now. Believe me, it will resonate. And to break through your guilt for a divorce, get my brand new ebook, Stop Feeling Guilty for Your Divorce. If you were at fault for the divorce, God doesn't want you to feel guilty. If you weren't at fault, God doesn't want you to feel guilty. And to join us in fighting narcs and getting abused spouses out of these relationships, join our team. Subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my TikTok channel. And finally, if you like these t-shirts I'm wearing in these videos, you can purchase them now. There's a small selection online. We call it the Anti-Narc Collection on the website, davideclarkephd.com.